Hey everyone, Luke here with another video. In today's video, I'm going to be answering a question that a couple subscribers asked. They asked me, does your appearance matter when phone flipping? Let's go. Hey everybody, so we're going to be talking about if your appearance matters or not when you're phone flipping. So typically in a normal sales position, I would say that your appearance does somewhat matter when dealing with the customer. So here on the screen, you're going to see off to the left a business professional attire. So generally on a guy, you're going to see a neat hairstyle, conservative tie, long sleeve shirt, or a long sleeve shirt that's kind of cuffed or rolled up, and then dark socks. You know, everything's kind of color coordinate and everything's matching. On a woman, you'll typically see also a neat or professional hairstyle, solid colors, and then you're going to see, you know, moderate shoes. And then when it comes to pants, you're going to see a woman with dress pants or dress slacks, and they're going to be, you know, probably dark colored as well, or a solid color. Now, when it comes to business casual attire, you're going to see a polo shirt, sweater, or collared knit shirt, belt with an optional tie. You don't really have to wear a tie, and then leather shoes. And then on the female, you're going to see kind of a solid color polo knit shirts, and then probably a twill or cotton pants or skirts that are kind of professional looking. Here's the thing. If we were trying to sell people cars, this would be a big thing. You would want to dress either business professional or business casual attire. The thing with phone flipping is we're trying to get people to sell us their phone at the absolute lowest, cheapest, dirt cheap price we can get that phone for. We want to make as much profit as we can. Now, of course, that's not always the case. Depending on if you're dealing with an experienced seller, you might have to, you know, end up only making $50 profit or $75 profit to get the deal. But if it's a new customer, or if it's just kind of a general customer that doesn't really expect that much for their stuff, you don't want to show up in this suit and tie with, you know, the Gucci watch and the Gucci shades. You don't want to be doing any of that. You don't want to draw attention to yourself. What you want to do in the phone flipping industry is you want to blend in. You also don't want to make the customers feel like you're getting rich off of them. You don't want them to think that you have this lavish lifestyle because you buy phones from them. Believe it or not, especially when we deal with customers that are coming to us out of desperation for money, or they're, you know, addicted to gambling or drugs or other kind of stuff where they need vast amounts of money, they are going to get the impression that you are making all of your riches off of them, which is totally untrue because, you know, you're dealing with 10, 15 customers each week or every 2 weeks or whatever volume you may be doing. Like me personally, I ship out around 100 to 150 phones per month, which is quite a few phones. Now, what's kind of funny is these people will think that we are getting our vast amount of wealth just off of them, you know, their one business, like just that one customer, and that one business or that one customer happens to be them. So you never want to give your customers this impression that, you know, you're too good for them or you dress to impress, because they're not going to take it that way. You're not selling them a card. You're selling them on the fact that you need to get the phone at a low price so you can make a profit. If you show up wearing a Versace tie and a Gucci belt and Gucci shades, the customer is going to look at you and say, you don't need to get this phone any cheaper than what I have it listed for. You must make a ton of money flipping phones because of the fact that you are dressed like a ritzy person, or you're dressed very, very, you know, just conservatively, and it shows. I mean, they're going to pick up on that, and they're going to be like, wow, you know, this person's dressed very conservative. It's very clean. It's not, you know, he's not common folk. So the best thing to do, honestly, is just dress casual. Dress like you were going to go hang out with your friends and go play video games, or hang out with your girlfriends and go do your nails and chill around and watch soap operas all day. Now, I'm not saying you should show up unshowered or wear PJs or, you know, anything that, you know, is a little bit borderline, but you should wear something that's a little less than business casual. Just kind of something where you would just kind of throw on an average t-shirt, like say a t-shirt from Walmart and an average pair of blue jeans, and then maybe a pair of flip-flops or a pair of sneakers. Nothing fancy. And the reason being is I've actually tested this. Me and my cousin actually went around to garage sales, and it was actually a really hilarious experiment, and I should definitely make a YouTube vlog out of this, perhaps maybe in the future. But we went around to garage sales back when I was interested in those, and what we would do is we would go to a garage sale, and What I would do is I would go to the garage sale before him and I would show up in average clothes and I would drive the cheapest car that I had at the time. And if I didn't have a cheap one, I'd actually borrow a friend's. We did this for a few days. And what we would do is I would pull up to a garage sale and I would find a certain item. And I would make sure, it was like over 40 bucks. That way there was obviously a little room or margin to negotiate on. And I would try and get them down as low as possible. And oftentimes, like 9 out of 10 times, I could get the item for almost 50% off. Now, when I would text my cousin, I would let him know, hey, this is the item, this is the price that I got it for. I want you to try and do the same thing. He would pull up in his Corvette, and he was dressed really fancy, and he would go and try and get the same item. And he said when he would pull up, and I was always watching from a distance, as I would drive off, I'd kind of drive around the block and watch. As he would pull up in this Corvette to these garage sales, everyone would kind of look and stare like, what's this person doing here? Why are you at a garage sale? He'd get out kind of dressed fancy and he would go look around at the garage sale and then mosey his way over to the item that I picked up. And I was dressed in common clothes, drove a common car, and he would try and get the item for the same price that I got it for, and 9 times out of 10, like there was only 1 or 2 people that gave it to him for the same price they gave it to me. 9 times out of 10, they told him absolutely not. He couldn't even barter $5 on it because people or customers judge you on that kind of thing. They don't like to feel like you are above them, and they definitely don't want to feel that you are rich when they're giving you a steal of a deal on a phone. Although some of these customers don't really know what the phones are worth, they do have some sort of sense of an idea that you're going to make decent profit. And when you flaunt it by, dressing conservatively and clean, or just dressing kind of overly done, like fancy, ritzy, they're going to pick up on it and they're not going to want to give you a deal. Or when they meet up with you next time, they're going to hit you with a text that says, man, I know you make a lot of money on these phones. I can tell by the way you dress. Or, man, I know you make a lot of money on these phones because I can tell by the car you drive. So honestly, when it comes to the phone flipping business, it's best to not dress to impress. Dress to impress. That's a tongue twister. So basically, make sure that you are kind of dressing casually. Blend in. If you've got a car or you're planning on buying a car, buy something on the cheaper end. Don't go extremely flashy because customers will pick up on that, and then sometimes they will try and pursue other avenues. I know it sounds silly, but the garage experiment was a 100% showcase that this is a true thing. You don't necessarily think it because we're not always on the other end of this, but it is 100% true, and it's crazy how having a average car and kind of just wearing average clothes and kind of blending in with the consumer and making them feel like you're one of them, it's amazing how it impacts the psychology of the deal and them wanting to actually give you a decent deal either then or more comfortable then, and then being even more comfortable the next time you meet up with the same customer. So that being said, I hope this answers some of the questions that I've gotten. If your style or your appearance matters when phone flipping, like I said, don't purposely go out there and look like a bum, but just dress very casual. Obviously hygiene, yes, it's important, but don't overdo it. Don't over try it. Just basically be average Joe when you're phone flipping, and things will go really, really, really well for you. So I hope some of you guys got some value out of this. Make sure you hit that like button, hit subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video.